Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel Sikho Sikhao, learning, sharing, and growing together. This is the video number 7 of the Angular series, and the video number 7 is Angular CLI. Okay, so Angular CLI is basically a list of commands that you will be executing when you are developing an Angular application, and it is very helpful for a good developer, or I would say when you are working on the Angular application, then it is very uh, good prompt also, so you can create the files and folders very easily. Okay, so let's start with that, and let's start with the basic commands. So here you can see project setup. So suppose you want to create a new project or the new Angular application, that at that time you have to execute ng new project name. Okay, so ng new is the command and project name in your application name. Suppose you want to create a e-commerce project, so ng new xyz e-commerce, something like that. Okay, now you want to run the project, so that time you have to execute the ng serve. Okay, when you will run the project, then it will run your project into a portal that is 4200. And suppose you want to run the application to a specific port, so that time you can use the ng serve -o space 4200 or 4201 or whatever it is. Okay, next is generate files. Okay, suppose you want to generate the components for your application, then you can execute this command, that is ng generate component name, or ng generate ngg C component name. G for generate, C for component. Okay. Like if you want to create service files, so that time you can use ng generate service name, or simply you can write ng g as service name. Same for the module. You want to create a module name there. Okay. So at that time you can create execute the command nggm module name. Okay. Generate a directory. Now you want to generate a directory for your application, so that time you can execute ngg d for directory and the directory name. Generate a pipe. So suppose you want to create a pipe, uh, or I would say custom pipe, so that time you can create a execute a command like ngg p and your pipe name. Okay, generate files. Okay, so suppose you want to create a girl. Okay, like ngg generate ngg and g for god name. Generate an interceptor. You want to create an interceptor, so at that time you have to write ng generate interceptor's name. The last one is build and deploy. Now you have already completed your development and you want to give a build. Okay, so at that time you can write ng build. Suppose you want to give build to the production, so that time you can write ng build space -prod. Okay, now you have to write the test case and all those things, like, right? So you can see here at the right hand side, run unit test, that is ng test. Run end to end test, ng e to e means end to and end. Okay, and some utilities commands are like you want to check your Angular version. Okay, so you can uh, execute the ng version. Now you want to update your Angular, so you can uh, write ng update. And if you want to update the Angular to a particular version, then at that time you can write other command. Okay, and if you want any kind of help, then you can execute the ng help. So let me create a project for you. and we'll execute few commands. Okay, here. Okay, so suppose I want to create a application in this path. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll open the Visual Studio in this path. So you have to write code space dot, so it will open your Visual Studio. Okay, now what we'll do, we will be creating a application in this path, correct? So you can see I am inside that path. Now what we'll do, ng generate, sorry, ng new and your Angular project. Okay, so suppose this is uh, basic CLI command. Okay, so this will create a application with this name, basic CLI command. Here it is asking you to choose the CSS. What kind of CSS you want to choose? CSS, SAS, less, and also suppose I'm selecting CSS. Okay. Now the next, what is asking? It is asking for the server side rendering you want or not. I press N. Okay. Do you want to create no zone.js? Okay. I don't want this zone.js. So again I press N. Now it is for the other thing, like which AI tools you do you want to configure with Angular best practice. So basically GitHub Copilot. Copilot is now coming with your Visual Studio inbuilt. Okay. So it is good to change GitHub Copilot while you are using Visual Studio Code. Okay. Now it is creating the application. Correct. So basic files like index HTML, tiles, CSS, CSS, whatever it is creating, that we have already discussed in the previous video, right? And it is installing the npm. It will take time to install, so let it get installed. Okay, it's taking time, but it will install. No, sorry. So let me show one more thing. Okay, it is getting installed. Okay, now it get installed. Now we'll be going inside the folder. Okay, like so. This is basic CLI command. Correct. We came inside the basic CLI command. Okay, I just wanted to show you a few things. Like the terminal is there, right? So here it is. Terminal, when you are opening, here is a drop down arrow. Here you can select default profile. Okay, so when it will be opening, then it will open their command prompt. Suppose you have selected PowerShell. Okay, and when you are clicking select default. Okay, and now you're trying to open terminal. Let me close this. Now I'm trying to terminal. Okay, let me I close it again. Is opening command type. Suppose I have selected this. This is PowerShell, and I make it as a set as default profile. Okay. Now, if we are opening this, then it will by default it will open the PowerShell. But we don't want PowerShell right now. We want the command prompt because we have to execute few commands. That is CLI commands. Okay. So you will make it default. Okay. So now it is default. So we are inside this. Okay. CD basic CLI command. Okay. Now we are inside this folder. Correct. And our application has been created with basic structure. Correct. Now you want to create a component. Okay. And G generate C for component, and it is home. Suppose it is home. Okay. See, inside the F folder, it created the home component. Right. So like that, suppose you want to create a service. Ng generate service, and your service name is, suppose I want to create inside the services folder. User service folder user. Okay. Okay, see here, user service. A folder has been created, and inside that file has been created. Okay. The name is user. Okay. You can rename this also manually. I just type by mistake it is user only. So it is created user. So you can rename this also. Okay. So like that you can execute the other commands also. Like suppose I want to run this application ng server, right? So it is running and it will be open in the portal port that is 4200. Just press control and click it. It will open in your browser. Okay, basic CLI commands, right? Hello, basic CLI command. So this is the things. Hope you have liked the video, and if you have liked the video, then please press the bell icon and subscribe the channel.